Hey guys, it's Crystal with IamCrystalNicole.com and ArmyWife101.com. And oh, you know, I always said I'm not a great writer. Um, I lucked up because one thing I've always done is maintained my authenticity. And part of my authenticity is not only just telling it like it TI is, but also writing how I talk. I'm from Long Island. I have a very bad accent at times. I've been down south off and on since 2002, but the Long Island still comes out in me. Like Long Island. I try to say long, like the right way, it never comes out. Anyway, my whole point is this. Blogging has gotten super whack lately. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be no hypocrite because I make a decent income blogging. Like, I really do. And I use blogging because that's very broad. I make a decent income because of blogging. What I should say. Because of what I have done in blogging, I made a decent income. Money doesn't just come from blogging, but that's another story. So, it's sad because when I first started blogging back in 2009, I was super into it. I mean, I stayed up. And really quickly, let me tell you, one of the ways that I began blogging was, there's a blogger, her name is Lorraine Sanabria Robertson. Years ago, when I was in high school, there was a show on TLC called A Wedding Story. And, I was just obsessed with couples on there, especially those. I used to want to live in Atlanta for some reason, in Georgia, which I got my chance to live in Georgia, but it wasn't Atlanta. I lived in Savannah. And I was, years later passed by and I'm in Hawaii, and because I lived in Hawaii, on Oahu, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna look up this episode of A Wedding Story on YouTube because I watch old shows, like stuff like that. And I look up Lorraine, find her, Google her name. Yes, Lorraine. If you ever see this video, I did kind of stalk you online. And I found her first blog, which was Ask Wifey. She runs a blog called RunWifeyRunNow.com. RunWifeyRun.com. At that time, I seen that people were going to events and stuff, but I always felt like the authenticity was still there. People were really writing diaries, things they were doing, as part of their household, and trips they were going on, things like that. And it wasn't all sponsored crap. Now I feel like people are blogging for the hopes of getting brands to work with them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting on that because that's what I do for a living. However, I liked blogging because I like talking. And because I am sort of kind of antisocial in real life, blogging gave me the platform to really let my personality shine through without having to really do it physically in front of people. And so on Army Wife 101, that is still to this day, is my huge blog. I get, over 100,000 visitors a month. I have a fan page, which I just reached 40,000 yesterday on my fan page, which is a huge accomplishment. But even with me, I'll be honest and say that I felt like I was writing for the brands and writing in hopes of getting this particular company and this particular brand to work with me. But when I all think about it full circle, the truth of the matter is that most of the companies, if they're a really good company who really want that genuine connection with a blogger to reach other people, you want bloggers who are going to be able to tell an authentic story. And I feel like that has gotten lost in the art of blogging. People are not authentic anymore. I write how I talk. I'm not saying you should write and just be like totally effed up in your grammar and spell words wrong. But I see these blog posts and it's like, oh my God, like, do you really want me to read that? Like, this sounds like a thesis. Like, it's not even entertaining. Like, that's why I switched to IamCrystalNicole.com. If this blog becomes big, like Army Wife 101, it becomes very well known, popular, by all means. But I truly came over here to make this my diary. Sure, I'll do product reviews and stuff like that because that's the kind of stuff I like to talk about. But I'm more basing it on things that I actually own already. And, if brands want to send me stuff, I mean, I'm authentic. I'm going to take it, sure, I'll try it out. If it's something I like, or I think I might like, I'm not just going to take anything. Because one thing I learned earlier on in blogging was, I admit I was one grabbing up stuff. Oh, you want to give me a free cleaner? Oh, you want to give me free paper towels? Oh, you want to give me a free nail clipper? Oh, I was taking it because it was free. But then that shit started clogging up my house. I still have boxes all over my house from blogging. But the point is, blogging has become whack. I'm not saying blogging is dead, but everybody wants to blog. And They want to blog because they see people like me and other bloggers like you who are somewhat making it. You know, a lot of us get to go to good events. I haven't been in any good events in a long time, but I had my year. You know, I was popping for like 2 years. I was interviewing and going to New York City and living it up. And then after a while, I got lazy. I've gotten events. Ooh, hair itches. I've gotten invited to events and stuff, and things like I passed on one to California. I gave it to one of my guest writers, and you know, I got lazy. Traveling is not my thing completely. Like, I like to travel on my own time, but I find like with the blogger events and stuff, and this is stuff that people always want to know, you're on the go so much, and I'm not an on the go person. And again, that's where my authenticness is. Like, you know, I like the hustle of the blogging thing when you're going away and you're on these big brand excursions, but it's a lot. And that's one thing I think people don't realize too. When you're on these trips, you know, I mean, I guess the trips are different for everybody, but you're really on an itinerary. You know, there's not a whole lot of downtime. So, you know, you're flying to New York, you fly there for a day, you go to this meeting, you go to that meeting, you're sitting there, you're learning about the brand, blah, 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 and then you come back. And I see people go to shit that they know they're not interested in, but they're going to go because it's New York or it's California, and you're going to stay at, you know, an expensive hotel, and you're going to get treated like stardom. That's what blogging is. Yeah, I just let out the secret. The secret is out. But I will say that I'm very super glad to be here at IamCrystalNicole.com. You guys don't have a clue as to how liberating this is for me. Like, I feel free. And of course I'll keep doing Army Wife 101. I mean, that's my baby. That's my hustle. I had to work to get that blog to where it is. Do you hear me? I've been called. It was like civil rights on the internet for me. Like, the struggle was real. But I have a lot of supporters. All nationalities, all sexes, all races, all whatevers, religions. They support Army Wife 101. But I had to, you know, come over here and I'm Crystal Nicole just to be me, be free, talk about what I want. You know, if a brand wants to work with me, by all means, hey, I'm a plus size girl. I love makeup. I love hair. I have 2 kids, you know, marriage, all that. But, yeah, I just wish we could go back to the authenticity of blogging. I won't say less sponsored posts, but if you're going to write them, like, and even me, I had to check myself a couple of times. I was like, damn, I'd write like a sponsored post. I'm like, this sounds like an infomercial. Like, this shit doesn't even sound legit. No, change that. And I think if we could go back to that, blogging would get back to like where it was like 3 or 4 years ago, where it was like really popping. But that's all. 8 minutes. I'm out. Talk to you soon. I'm CrystalNicole.com. Bye.